Let's bring in ESPN analyst Quint Kessenich now. Quint, this offseason, despite the fact that we should still be in the middle of the 2020 season, has already gone off the rails with the transfer expectations and already people in the transfer portal. When you just look at the landscape of college lacrosse right now, what do you see?
I see a situation that, 2021 is going to be a remarkable year in that there's going to be so much player movement, whether it be from seniors electing to get a graduate degree at another school, or whether it be undergraduate transfers. Plus, then you have an incoming freshman class. So basically, you have 5 classes of players filling a normal roster. So everyone's going to be really good. Everyone's going to be really talented. And from here to next September, we're going to see massive player movement. Okay, where do these good players end up? And they could really reshape the power struggle of college lacrosse.
The Ivy League is the one that everyone focuses in on because, for the most part, from everything we've seen, just about every one of these schools has said no to fifth-year guys. If you want to go play as a grad transfer, you got to go somewhere else. Of those Ivy League guys, like when you look at it, how does that change the landscape of all the other programs trying to pick up some of those guys for at least 1 year?
Well, I mean, when you look at a Michael Sowers at Princeton, if he transfers, wherever he transfers, that program's automatically going to be in the top 5, let's say.
Yeah.
If he goes to Duke, okay, there's a strong chance he could end up there. They have an ideal graduate program. Their head coach, John Danowski, is head coach of Team USA. I know that's one of Michael's goals down the road. And they need a quarterback. They need an ex-attackman. That program is think about the amount of points. He's putting up 100 points. So you just add 100 points to the equation, and all of a sudden Duke goes from the 7th-ranked team to the 2nd-ranked team. Same is true at Syracuse. And how good would he look behind the net with Chase Scanlon on a wing and that great midfield group? So a guy like Michael Sowers could change the picture. But it's more than just him, though, okay? Because if these Ivy seniors do move, you're seeing guys like Aiden Hines, a great defender at Yale, Jackson Morrill of Yale. You're seeing a couple guys from Penn. There are a dozen or so, Jeff Teat from Cornell, there are a dozen or so game changers, immediate starters who are going to really benefit the schools that they transfer to.
And obviously, it's tough, such a tough situation for those guys because you heard Sowers and T.D. Erlin at Yale. They don't want to go anywhere else if they didn't have to. What were your thoughts on the Ivy League's ultimate decision in a really difficult time that is kind of unprecedented to still stick to where they're usually at?
They're stubborn. I mean, they have their code and they stuck with it, which surprised me. But I respect it, and given the circumstances, I feel for the student athletes. I think about what I would have done, as someone played half a year as a senior at Johns Hopkins and you're evicted. You get your degree, which is important. You enter the workforce. You want to play on a new team. You want to try to generate new friendships. You got to find a graduate degree. My mom probably didn't have that kind of money. So I would have ended up maybe at Stony Brook, Albany, up in New York somewhere, a low cost alternative. Could I have gone to Syracuse? No, they had Matt Palin. Could I have gone to North Carolina? No, they had a goalie. So my choices would have been limited. So I feel for these guys. Just put yourself in their position, and all of a sudden you're cornered, and you only have a few options. Plus, you're dealing with the economic fallout of this pandemic, and whether it's interviewing for jobs, graduate school, etc. Beyond graduation, there's a lot of clouds out there in their future. So this is a really tough time period for those seniors.
Yeah, really uncertain times for the coaches too. And you wrote about this for Inside Lacrosse about the transfer portal and what it's like for coaches and assistant coaches across the country right now. Describe to me the thought process going through some of these guys' heads, knowing, hey, there is a guy like Michael Sowers out there that is a game changer for our program, but trying to figure out, A, how do we get him to come here? And then B, does it work with what we have?
There's a lot of moving parts, okay? And my phone last week was buzzing from head coaches. I can't see the transfer portal. I don't have access to it. So I use a couple of my moles out there, and they give me daily updates. But think about during the pandemic, campus is closed. These coaches are operating from home. They can't have a visit. They can't go see these athletes face to face. So everything's being done over FaceTime and Zoom. Plus now through May 31st, it's a recruiting dead period. So there's certain rules of operation that way. So this is really fascinating how they're trying to accumulate the new talent that hit the transfer portal, whether it's Ivy seniors or undergraduate transfers. balancing their books. Who's coming back next year? Who's getting scholarship money? We have to be NCAA compliant. New class coming in. There are so many moving parts that these coaches, I said, how's it going to a couple of them. These are big time D1 coaches. And they're like, my head is spinning. My head is spinning right now, trying to figure this all out, trying to get guidance from my conference, trying to get guidance from my school. How are we approaching this? Trying to take the temperature of current team members, who's coming back, who's not coming back. So it's a fascinating, stressful, and very active time behind the scenes for these D1 coaches.
And I think you have a lot of fan bases and people across the country who are just want to know where some of these big name guys might go. From you talking to some of these coaches, like, how long do they feel like this process is going to take? Because you have guys where in past years, somebody enters the transfer portal a week later, they already know where they're going to go. I have a feeling with all the different logistics going on, this is going to take longer, right?
I think it would take, through this semester. Remember, everyone's still in school right now, online. It would be a good time to add some classes if you could. But I think it's going to go into the summer. I really do, because the uncertainty of what next school year looks like, the uncertainty of mom and dad and their financial status. People are losing jobs. People are going through furloughs, pay cuts, and this is very much a moving entity for colleges going forward, and for college athletics.
Well, Quint, crazy times. We appreciate you taking some time. Stay safe, and we hope we get some lacrosse here to talk about sometime soon.
Thank you.